Welcome back to Nordforge, everybody. Today I had an idea about a gnome who I've been contemplating for a little while. His name is Gimbal, and I wanted to set the scene from the previous video to really kind of give you a grasp on this deep gnome, tinkerer, warlock character. Also Vex's buddy. If you don't know who that is, in my previous videos, especially my bunker video, you will see. So right now I'm just making a lean-to. If you don't know what a lean-to is, if you've ever been on a hiking trail or camping, you may have seen them. They're just three-sided buildings with a roof that is on a 45-degree angle. Gives hikers a way to escape the rain for a little while or catch some sleep. At least that's how it works up here in the Northeast. And right now, I decided to use some Eileen's glue and give that a nice shape. And yes, I am using some super glue. It is somewhat foam safe, as long as you're using in areas where it's going to be completely covered up and not totally eat away your foam, you're good. And then I cover it up with Mod Podge, give it some strength, and since I'll be spray painting this off camera, the Mod Podge helps protect the foam. And here I'm making a mushroom. You see Gimbal here sells mushrooms and potions. My little cast I've made. I'm going to dip in an LED node to give this mushroom some light. Now I'm soldering an LED filament wire to 22 gauge copper wires and drilling the holes for them. Then I figured I had an idea for, since he's a vendor, give him an outdoor table. And of course I had to add my nail holes. And give it some orange. And 24 hours later my mushroom was done. And as you can see, works perfectly fine. Now starting with the ground, I used some plaster of Paris and a little bit of water and some dye, almost some acrylic paint. Just wasn't getting the color I wanted, so I kept adding more and more. And just getting that to the viscosity I needed. And that's just packing tape around the wooden base. That's just regular pine. Works great as a base. I like it better than XPS foam. And after putting down the lean-to, I put down my mushroom to the pre-drilled holes and started cutting away for some shingles. Again, I like going the old-fashioned way. I know there are different ways of making shingles, but one at a time is just the way I like to do it. And some AK terrains, dark earth. And then in the front, I used some acrylic brown paint. This is the side that will mostly be covered in static grass. And why not some blue? I've been playing World of Warcraft lately, which has gone downhill, but that's alright. And I noticed a lot of the roofs in Alliance are blue, so I decided why not. And some PVA, swatched that around a little bit, and I'm still thinking autumn. Fall is on its way. In my previous video, I built a treehouse, which was all autumn type colors, and so I kind of went with a dead grass type look with my ultra expensive static grass applicator. And I want to leave the middle for a little trail. I'll be dumping some PVA and different sands I have. Some of these I just gathered literally outside of my house and sifted. And making him a little sign out of popsicle sticks. This is going to be his little store where he sells poisons, potions, mushrooms. Use your imagination on that one. And of course, a strict no return policy, as you'll see. Then I went back to the roof and gave that a cream white heavy dry brushing. And while I was at it, added some moss as well. This is a torch that I designed in Fusion quite a while ago. And if you notice, I actually broke it trying to get this LED in, but I was able to save it. And what I'm doing here is using hot glue to make a torch to make the flame. As I build it higher, I need to cool it, so I dip it in water. This technique I have seen on several channels and works great, as you can see. Then I run the wires down through the holes and glue that to the side. And with my filament in place, I decided to take an LED blue and stick that up through as well, and then take some cotton and off camera give that a spray of just regular blue. And as you can see, I'm giving it some hits of purple just to kind of give some texture. This is supposed to be an explosion of energy. I do have a bits box in which I found a old bottle I had designed for a totally different diorama. It's supposed to be a broken bottle. But then I had the idea maybe the bottle was on top, spilling the wine all over the place. Then it was time for Gimbal himself. I designed this little guy on Blender. The only thing that I did not design was the little skull on top of the wand, which I'll leave a description for, and the little book on his side, which I'll also leave a link in the description. I gave him some engineering goggles, and little backstory. Gimbal Underbranch is 204 years old, smells faintly of moss, and believes personal space is a myth invented by nobles. Born in a green thorn vale, he spent his youth making things explode on purpose and telling stories his own ears didn't leave. One foggy night, he followed the root whispers into the hollow root caves, signed a very vague pact with something called the Verdant Veil, and came out with glowing fingers and an attitude problem. His equal parts trickster, reluctant gardener, and catastrophic roommate, he met Vex on a crooked road, and emotionally unavailable except for Gimbal. And the two have since poured ruined bars, outrun one bad omen, and argued about who left the rat in the cloak. Gimbal fights with fey magic and bad jokes, and all kidding aside, he would die for Vex, after he finished his pint, of course. And this is the Huntsman in a totally different position. These are some potion bottles I found that I'll also leave a link for. And of course all warlocks have their imps. And after putting Gimbal in his place, I fastened the Huntsman using UV epoxy. It was definitely a fun project, and this came out way better than I thought. And after giving it a black stain, I called it a day. So enjoy these final shots. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you wouldn't mind giving me a like, that would be great. Have a great week, everybody, and I'll see you on the next build.